Hello everyone, welcome to Pete's Plants, and today we're going to do a garden tour. We're going to focus initially on bonsai and we'll see if anything else makes it in. So here is Peter.
This is a hemlock that I've been growing for about 20-some years. I grew it from seed. It's off of a dwarf hemlock blande, and as you can see, it's never been cut to reduce the height, and it's only been pruned to make a bonsai out of it. Let's move on to the next one now. This used to be a big cascade, and Mother Nature decided that she didn't like it, so she broke the top and the big cascade. So working with Danny, we came up with a different style, so I'll keep playing with it like this.
So is it going to be another cascade?
No.
How old was the hemlock and how old?
20 years. Didn't I say 20 years old?
Probably. What about the cascade?
God, I started this back in 78, and the plants were 15 years old.
This cascade, when it was a full cascade, was featured in a bonsai show at the National Arboretum, correct?
Yeah. This is a twin trunk that I'm working on. The candles first developed, and I wired them to get some movement in it. And this is off of commonly referred to as the Yoshimoto corkbark, but there's a different name for that particular pine. Mr. Yoshimoto introduced it to the East Coast. Back here is Ishi. It's a cascade that Roy and I worked on a couple of years ago. I'm extremely pleased, and I'm going to write about that also, because it was growing very tall, and he said cut it off. And when I did, everybody kind of looked like, are you crazy? Because that's where it was cut off. The tree was way up. Here is the sister plant that I grafted at the same time as I grafted this one. And this is Ishi. It's a corkbark that was never introduced.
Can you stand over by it for an idea of scale?
Yeah.
You're about 5'9", so
yep.
This gives everyone an idea.
Well, they could see from this stake. And this is also a pine that I grew from a grafted piece that I got from Conosium Garden.
That's in the container?
Yeah. It's always in a container, and I'm quite surprised at the thickness of the trunk. And
can you put your hand closer to the trunk for...
So it's a very nice trunk, and if people wanted to grow a pine or want black pine, I highly recommend this one.
Now on this one, I see you've got wire right coming down here.
Yeah.
And
it will be totally rewired next spring.
Okay.
This is one that I'm really proud of. It's Banshoho, and I got Steve Pelagic had given me a plant of it many years ago, and it produced a cone, and I started it from seed. I had a couple of them that really took off from seed, so it really surprised us, Roy and me, when we move foliage. We had to pull foliage for 20 minutes before we could see a trunk line.
What's with the foliage coming out the bottom?
Well, that's the beauty of this particular tree. It buds back all the way to the base. And it's, since it's from seed, I grew it from seed, we don't know what it's going to be like, but it already has short needles. This is a white pine that I bought from Canossium Garden. I had been growing it for years, and the wife said work it or sell it. So I took it in. We made 2 cuts. We cut this branch off and we cut this one off up here, and we bent this down. And Roy and I laugh about that even to this day, that that's all it took, and we had this bonsai.
How long is that cascade, would you imagine?
I really don't know, about 36 inches, I guess. I'm not into, I'm having fun now. This is another piece of the Yoshimura clone that I had air layered, and this is a tree that somebody will have a nice one day. I'm going to keep working it and training it, and hopefully the rough bark will start back, coming back on it. It's a piece that I air layered many years ago. This is from seed. I started this hinoki from seed about 17 years ago, and it was growing in the ground, so I just potted it up, and it just no big area to go anyplace, so I decided to pot it up and keep it here, and it's turning into a nice bonsai.
What about this azalea?
Oh, the cascading azalea, that's a gorgeous little piece. I haven't worked on it in a couple of years, and now I'm going to start working on it again. It needs repotting.
Looks like you have 2 cascades on this.
Yeah, I'm just doing what I can to see what it will do.
In bonsai, do you have trees with 2 cascades?
You can, if they're going the right direction. Right now I'm just bending them down to see how it develops.
And you can see the spent blooms on it. Looks like it had quite a few blooms on it.
Oh yeah, it's a heavy-duty bloomer. This is a Bald Cypress that I bought from, where did I get that? From a nursery in Ohio tons of years ago, and I've propagated pieces, and this is a piece that I've propagated. This is a spruce. This is a gift from Jimmy Ford of the Richmond Bonsai Society. Okay, this is a spruce that I got from through trading, and I've decided to, hey, it's here, work it. You want to come around here now? Mm-hmm. These are some Japanese maple that I started from seed and just let it grow. I didn't get out to prune it like I should this year, but it will eventually be pruned.
And if you're interested in some of these maples, there is another video on the channel that looks at the maples as they are starting to leaf out. So it's a short video looking at specifically the maples and as they leaf out.
This is over rock. It's been over rock for over 20 years now, and it's here again needs to be shaped, and I will get to it one of these days, but it's right now I'm just keeping it alive. This is a dwarf kotohime Japanese maple. Got a nice trunk, so now this piece will be coming off, this very big piece. The new tree will be developed down here.
What's the chicken wire for?
Keep Mr. Squirrel out of it. He decided that he wanted to dig in here. So that's why the chicken wire. And this is another gift from Jimmy Ford. This is one that I did on my own. From my front yard, I dug it, and it's got some kind of fungus problem, so I've been spraying it.
What do you spray?
Fungicides. This is
What type of boxwood is this?
Kingsville boxwood. Here's some pieces that I had cut off and just decided to start them up so that I can make gifts.
Where were Kingsville boxwoods developed?
In Kingsville, Maryland. This is an azalea I've been growing for years. When my friend gave it to me, it was a little piece like this, rooted.
And that was Bill Daly?
Bill Daly, a dear friend of mine, that no longer is with us. So,
Legacy plant.
yeah, and it's always been in a container, never in the ground, and it's developed a nice base on it.
How old is this?
It's probably 48 years old now. This is a Japanese red leaf maple. I found the seed at the Arboretum on the ground. I was visiting many years ago. This is over 35 years old, and always from seed, so it's getting a serious haircut this year to bring it back.
Where are you going to cut?
I'll probably take this branch off and this one, since I'm getting nice new growth out.
That's a really big trunk.
It's a nice trunk. This is a Bald Cypress that I've been growing for a number of years, and it's developing nicely. Here again, I need to get out and work on stuff, but right now it's just too hot.
So the months of July and August.
You don't do much with trees. You just leave them alone.
And that would be for plant zone 7 and 6.
Yep.
I notice on the cypress it's sitting in water.
Yeah, well, cypress grow in water.
So swamp kind of tree.
Yep. And if you keep them in water, the base thickens so much better. This is a Cascade maple that I've been growing for a number of years, and just recently sprayed it for insects.
Can you turn? Oh, you can't. Okay.
Yeah, it's tied down because it has been blown down a few times, and it's doing its own thing as far as replacing foliage. It has done that a few times, so I'm going to leave it to that. Here are 2 junipers. This one, Roy styled it for me the first time back in 1986, and it is, as you can see, this died, the top came out, so it's something that I really cherish because of Roy having originally styled it. And
so can you trace what's keeping those branches alive?
Well, the live bark right here. See? It goes all the way up and down here. Okay?
Okay.
And it comes on around back here. So that's what's keeping it alive. And this one is the same thing. Mother Nature decided to help me with it, and so I'm quite pleased with it. It's got a lot of dead wood, needs a lot of work still.
So deadwood is aesthetic quality sought in some bonsai styles?
Yeah, it increases the age look of a bonsai. Now we're going to do just a quick little cover over here.
This area is among family known as the construction area.
Work area. Okay, these black pines that Roy gave me the seed for 3 years ago, so we're going to start working them in to get some character in the trunk.
What kind of soil is that?
That's a mixture of soil that Roy has. It's lava rock from the Mojave Desert. I've been using that for almost 30 years now, and I really like it. This is common black pine. It's going to be grafting stock, this whole thing here, except for pieces that are showing unique characteristics. Anytime you grow from seed, you can run into some unique characters of pine. So
Can you hold that up beside one of the things so we can see the difference?
So when you see pines producing differently, it's that's a good thing, because then you know you're getting something very unique. Okay, that's pretty much it for today.
That's the backyard.
Yeah.